I could tell you that I fell in love with Netflix's BoJack Horseman because of the show pushing the medium in ways I'd never seen, or because it's such a layered, deep show. But let's be real, guys. We were brought in for the animal puns and we stayed for the rest. The show is filled to the brim with gags about the various fauna living in Hollywood, and I think it's high time we pay these references the honor they deserve. I'm Kris Carr, and today I'm giving you every animal joke in Season 1 of BoJack Horseman. But before we talk about animals, we need to thank all of our patrons on Patreon, especially Super Nerd Sponsor of the Day, Some Assembly Required 75. Thanks to these heroes, we get to keep the lights on and keep binge-watching shows with y'all. If you want to pitch in, see if a donation tier works for you. Well, thank you for your kindness. And if you just want to get yourself a sweet treat, click that TeePublic link. They have tons of cool shirts to suit any and all of your geeky needs. On to the animal bits. We start strong in episode 1 with a horse pun from BoJack's life-defining sitcom, Horsing Around.
Oh, hey.
Where? I love hay.
Next, we get a Maury guest doing what every surprise father wishes he could do, duck and cover. Then enter some trash pandas. After the raccoons, we see one of my favorite gags, Penguin Publishing. Not only is this a reference to the real-life company, we get some penguin racism.
Look, just give me one more week, and I will give you some pages that'll knock your back to the South Pole.
I'm from Cincinnati.
Adding to this gag, Patton Oswalt, who voices BoJack's publisher, actually played Oswalt Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, in a college humor video titled Batman vs. the Penguin. Then it's back to horse jokes.
What? You don't think it's cute?
Nay way, Jose.
Lenny Turtletop tells women exactly what they want to hear.
Slow and steady, am I right, ladies?
And we get one of our first animal pun storefronts, Lululemon. Mr. Peanut Butter lets BJ know he's not Budweiser material.
Always a Clydesdale, never a Clyde, eh, BoJack?
What?
And then some sky rats get spooked outside of a restaurant. Please note, the restaurant is also called Elefante, and that statue is peeing in a crocodile's mouth. Agent extraordinaire Princess Carolyn reminds us that she will always land on her feet, and continues to deliver the catty bits by brewing herself a nice cuppa of catnip. Then, as Penguin Publishing is falling apart, we see a penguin slide on the floor and an igloo picture. We then take a Mel Brooks turn and make a horse glue reference when we're brought to St. Elmer's Medical Center, followed by a bird-centric magazine called Birdo. And closing out our pilot episode, we see a game of pin the tail on the donkey, where an actual donkey is more than likely about to get pegged. We kick episode 2 off by seeing PC's caller ID as a ball of yarn, and then double down on cat references by listening to her hold music, Jellicle Cats from Cats.
And hold for Princess Carolyn, please.
Thanks, Laura.
When you're walking alone, because jellicles are and jellicles do.
This hold music is still better than all the live-action adaptation of Cats. And the cat jokes keep coming. We'll notice that a scratching post is on PC's desk, and that our girl does not appreciate when you call her Catty.
Okay, all right. There's no need to get...
What, catty? Are you gonna say catty?
I was not gonna say catty.
All right, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say catty.
That's her word, BoJack. How dare you? We'll then follow BJ to a bar, where a chick walks with laughter at our washed-up sitcom star and lays an egg when he spooks her. The first of many. BoJack flaps his lips as he exhales his cigarette. He'll make this noise pretty regularly in the series. BoJack then admits to taking horse tranquilizers because what else would he take?
So you should bring this email with you because I might not remember it because I just took a bunch of horse tranquilizers, ha ha. Also, please don't put in my book that I use horse tranquilizers, ha ha.
And then we get a slew of dog gags as Mr. PB refers to Diane as his old tennis ball and chain, and Diane pets her good boy. Continuing the doggy jokes, two dogs talk about chocolate the way white women in LA talk about French fries.
I really shouldn't eat chocolate because it can literally kill me.
Oh, I know.
But I love chocolate.
Story of my life.
Then there's a sheep gardener trimming hedges, and PC motivating herself with a toy mouse on the treadmill while she watches MSNBC. And on MSNBC, we learn that the seal BoJack had a muffin mishap with at the grocery store is a Navy SEAL seal. We'll get a bear pun from a protester, and see a pig fly trying to get juicy paparazzi photos. We'll be hit with some rapid-fire dog jokes when we see tennis balls at Mr. Peanut Butter's as a decorative centerpiece, as art, and then get to see him get super excited about a guest.
Someone's at the door! I will see who it is.
Back to Neil the Seal. This little SeaWorld baby claps when he laughs. One of my favorite bits is when we notice that Mr. PB has a black, white, and gray portrait, referencing his potential colorblindness. We double down on this notion with all of his clashing decor. And we'll end episode 2 learning that BoJack's mommy mare was a sugar cube heiress. In episode 3, we meet some paparazzi birds. And a lemur that's horny for trees. Former child star Sarah Lynn will drink vodka from a giant hamster water bottle, and we'll see her essentially being groomed by a dog in a flashback. Another caller ID gag reveals that Mr. Peanut Butter's photo is a fire hydrant. We'll catch a lemur hanging off of BoJack's house, and PC will perch up on a fence. Episode 4 delivers the joke we've been waiting for.
He says, why the long face? And I say, hey, buddy, I can't help it. You get that? Long face? Horses have long faces.
Some moths will be complete stereotypes drawn to the spotlight. Speaking of stereotypes, Mr. Peanut Butter will remind us how much dogs like driving around.
Let's go ride in the car.
A diner waitress who is a cow delivers a steak, much to her distaste.
Here's your steak.
Sorry.
And a sexy angelfish billboard will be seen outside the diner. At a theater, we'll see a giraffe utilizing his height to change up for nails, a beaver being used as a saw, and then get a very unsettling flashback about baby birds being pushed out of the nest too soon.
It's not your fault.
I thought he was ready. He seemed ready.
It's not your fault.
As we watch BoJack manipulate Todd, we'll see a chameleon grab a dime with his tongue, and then we'll have a rooster scream at everyone to greet the day. PB has a fire hydrant fountain outside of his home. Diane will describe her man like you describe any lab or golden retriever.
Mr. Peanut Butter is nice to me. He's kind, and he's generous, and he's loyal.
BoJack is able to return a video game to the Beast Buy even though he doesn't have a receipt. Really missed a trick not making this an elephant. They never forget. In episode 5, Diane has to return home for her father's funeral. There, we learn that she's not the black sheep of her family. That's literally her adoptive brother Gary. PC will talk about playing with yarn.
Don't worry, I'm not just gonna sit here batting a ball of yarn around while you do the real work.
A pigeon will perch on a telephone wire before we enter Maggot and Son's funeral home, where the funeral director will slither away. In episode 6, Mr. Peanut Butter disappoints a bear with his honey sign as he stands outside of Smelta for Diane. When he goes to load up everyone's luggage, we see that his trunk is filled with tennis balls. He'll then drive off with his head out the window. We're treated to a series of animal companies: Feral Apparel, Fred Siegel, Foie Gras, and hey, Paul F. Tomcat is playing at the Chimprov. Paul F. Tompkins, of course, is Mr. Peanut Butter's voice actor. For the first time, we'll hear PC use her signature swear, "Ah, fish."
Why do you care if Diane... Oh, fish.
BoJack calls PB a son of a bitch,
Son of a bitch. That literal son of a bitch.
and PB lets us know that Diane is a catch.
And I think you know how much I love catch.
In episode 7, we catch a glimpse of PC's apartment complex, Tabbywood Apartments. We have a turtle try to pick up the pace,
I'm in a hurry, so I'll make this snappy.
and once again visit the diner, where they're in serious violation of some basic health and safety practices.
Angle.
We meet Princess Carolyn's arch nemesis, Vanessa Gecko,
That slippery, slimy, cold-blooded, bug-eyed...
What's new, pussycat?
and see a wolf hunting down a human in their office space. After trying to blackmail BoJack Horseman with lewd photos, a bird paparazzo flies into a window trying to make a quick escape, and PC's new assistant is a tree frog who's only around thanks to nepotism. Next, we'll meet the tarantula version of Quentin Tarantino. And if you're like me, you'll wonder if this arachnid version also has a foot fetish.
Is that Quentin Tarantulino?
Yeah, I brought him on board. You know, he's always wanted to direct a romantic comedy.
Ava Braun is not a romantic comedy.
In the interior of BoJack's restaurant, Elefante, we'll notice an animal take on the birth of Venus. As PC continues proving she can have it all by getting those steps in, the other animals around her live up to their stereotypes. The sloth next to her isn't moving, while the cheetah is booking it on the treadmill. When BoJack almost hits an armadillo while driving, it curls up into a ball. PC will have a meeting with director Cameron Crowe, who is actually a raven, and bird racism ensues.
Well, my name is Cameron Crowe, but I'm actually a raven. Common misconception.
Well, whatever you are.
A raven.
Lastly, PC lets BJ know that he'll once again be her client at the agency and that he's back in her stable.
Yeah.
Good news, you're back in my stable and I got you, the lead in a romantic comedy.
Episode 8 mostly takes place in the 80s and 90s as BoJack is filling in Diane about what went down with him and Horse and Around creator Herb Kazaz. Not only do we get a ton of fantastic 80s and 90s time period gags, we're still up to our ears in animal puns. For example, an eagle-eye viewer may have noticed a strip club sign that says Girls, Girls, Gorillas, and later we'll also see ads for Be Cool Llama cigarettes, a play on Joe Camel, a Got Milk sign, and a truck for dung beetle movers. They'll move your shit. At a big Hollywood party, BoJack and friends notice that the Ubu is there. The iconic Sit Ubu Sit Good Dog line was uttered at the end of every Ubu production series.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Ubu, the guy who sits.
He is a good dog.
This same party overlooks the La Brea tar pits, but gives a more Flintstone-y take on the remains that are in there. Also, did you know that La Brea just means the tar? So they're just called the tar pits. Stupid. We're then taken to Parrot Mount Studios, where a literal guard dog works the front gate. He barks at all trespassers unless proper ID is shown.
Go right ahead.
On the set of Horsing Around, one of the PAs can be seen wearing a Goatful Dead shirt. In BoJack's dressing room, he has a photo of himself posing like Burt Reynolds did in his iconic 1972 Cosmopolitan centerfold. Over at BoJack's agency, you can see 2 more movie posters: Dances with Wolves done in the style of Dirty Dancing, and a Casablanca poster. Before hanging up, BoJack's original agent will say he has a meeting with another client.
Now I gotta go. I got a lunch with MC Scat Cat.
So DJ Poopy Kitty was taken? In this 90s flashback, BoJack's art reflects the times, and you'll note that he has several animal-style prints of what looks like the popular artist Keith Haring's work. And the episode closes out with a protester holding a sign that says, "Clean up your stable, horsing around." Episode 9 gives us a ton of dogs versus mailmen bits, starting with Mr. Peanut Butter explaining to an officer why his behavior towards them is totally justifiable.
Officer, the mail truck pulled up right next to me. I got a bad vibe. What was I supposed to do? Not chase the mail truck?
At a coffee shop, we'll see a woodpecker drink some Joe and go berserk on their table, before following Diane and PB to do some registry shopping over at Bedborough and Beyond and Creighton Kennel. There, PB paints Diane a picture about their life together.
It's Sunday morning. I brought you the paper, fetched your slippers. You come into the kitchen. Can you smell biscuits?
BoJack will suffer through jury duty with a sloth prosecutor, before heading to Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter's wedding, where an actual chicken will do the chicken dance. Or I guess just dance. And a wolf appears in sheep clothing. In episode 10, Princess Carolyn believes that doing a movie with Quentin T could boost his career. While on set, BoJack grabs what looks like a bowl of sugar cubes and is eating a lot of snacks. Hungry horse. While on the phone with BoJack, PC is back in the gym next to a hamster on a wheel. While chatting, BoJack drops a colloquialism that explains what's literally happening on set.
I'm sick of this dog and pony show.
Back in Pinky the Penguin's publishing office, he has a mug that reads, "Keep clam and carry prawn," playing off the English phrase, "keep calm and carry on." Definitely more on board with carrying shrimps. This episode features Naomi Watts as BoJack's co-star in this terrible rom-com, and the 2 of them have a fling. He seems to really like her, and confesses so in a horse-riddled, gooey monologue.
I am tired of the rodeo, and I'm finally ready to saddle up.
BoJack,
I guess what I'm trying to say is, this Mustang wants to rest his head in the comforts of your spacious barn.
Episode 11 doesn't have as many gags since we're mostly focusing on everyone tripping balls trying to write. We do get PC hacking up a hairball, BoJack having a horse drive instead of a hard drive, and BJ hallucinates a Mrs. Beaversworth syrup bottle as he sees Diane go full Akira thanks to too many pancakes. The season finale ends with Secretary on the Dick Cavett Show swearing he never bet on horse racing and responding to a letter from 9-year-old BoJack.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you, and I think I'm on the right track. Get it? Track, because horses run on tracks.
Back in present day, PC pitches BoJack a new Coen Brothers movie to do.
A western about a one-horse town, and you're the horse!
Later, a freshly single PC has to go get groomed.
I gotta go get my whiskers trimmed. I run into walls for days, but I look hot.
And giving us our last pun of the season, PB and Todd explain why they've promptly abandoned their Halloween in January store idea.
We took the floor out because Mr. Peanut Butter kept scratching up the hardwood, and then, did we ever get the new floor installed?
This is why you go with Pergo, kids. If I missed any puns from season 1, definitely let me know. And be sure to point out your favorites in the comments section. Thanks to everyone on Patreon, TeePublic, and all y'all for tuning in. For more videos, click to the left. Thanks for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.